because you still have to appear for probation reports as long as your probation is active.
All right.
Sorry. So as long as your probation is active, you still have to appear for your probation reports, but they will end as soon as you've paid the fines and fees. So, and the probation officer is going to meet with you and explain everything to you, okay? Mr. Carter, I'm noticing a very horrible trend amongst young people here in this county. Nobody seems to want to get a license and keep a license. All right, Mr. Carter, you're before the court on State of Georgia versus Javante Carter, 2021 CR 08900 for window tint violation, driving on a suspended or revoked license and no license. You're represented by Attorney Taz Taylor, who's with you at the podium. The second case is 2022 CR 06939 for driving on a suspended and revoked license or no license. Raise your right hand for me. Do you solemnly swear or affirm any testimony you give in this matter will be true?
No.
All right, you can put your hand down. So, Mr. Taylor, on the case ending in 08900 for window tint, light driving on a suspended or revoked license and no license, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
Your Honor, my client's pleading nolo to count 2, driving on a suspended license. Our understanding is count 1, the tinted window, will be no frost.
Okay.
And count 3 will also be no frost.
All right, and on the second case ending in 06939, what does your client plead to the offenses before the court?
My client pleads guilty to count 1, driving on suspended license, and count 2 to be no frost.
All right, by entering a plea of nolo to count 2 on the first case and guilty to count 1 on the second case, you give up the right to have a trial by jury or judge. You give up the right to have the state prove your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You give up the right to have the presumption of innocence in your favor. You give up the right to confront witnesses, subpoena witnesses, present testimony and evidence on your behalf, to not incriminate yourself or present any testimony or evidence against yourself. And if you're not a United States citizen, a plea of guilty or no contest could negatively impact your immigration status. Do you understand all of these things?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Factual basis and recommendation, please.
Yes, Your Honor, back on May 10th of 2021, Clayton County officer was conducting traffic control in Clayton County at Old Dixie Road when the defendant drove past him with tinted windows. During the traffic stop, he learned that the defendant's license was suspended. The state's recommendation for count 1 is to no cross it. Count 2 will be a $500 fine, suspended, and then count 3 will be no cross. And then in case number 2022 CR 06939, on June 4th of 2021, officer while on patrol learned that the defendant did not have a valid license. And the state's recommendation for that one is going to be a $1,000 fine because it's his second and 5, and then count 2 would be no cross.
Okay. All right. So the fine is going to be $1,420 with the surcharges. I hope Mr. Carter is aware of that. So, Mr. Taylor, how much time is he going to need to pay the total?
Since he's been in custody, he's definitely going to need some time, Your Honor, and he's not driving currently.
All right, so 12 months pay only probation?
That'll be fine, Your Honor.
All right, so Mr. Carter, you'll be on 12 months pay only probation, which means that as long as you're paying your fines and fees, then as soon as your fines and fees have been fully paid, your probation will end. The quicker you pay them, the quicker it ends. But you will have up to 12 months to make those payments. I understand that you're getting out of jail, so you may take you some time to ramp up, but the quicker you make everything, the quicker that you will be off probation, because you still have to appear for probation reports as long as your probation is active.
All right.
Sorry. So as long as your probation is active, you still have to appear for your probation reports. But they will end as soon as you've paid the fines and fees. So, and the probation officer is going to meet with you and explain everything to you. Okay. Mr. Carter, I'm noticing a very horrible trend amongst young people here in this county. Nobody seems to want to get a license and keep a license. Everybody's driving, they'll buy new cars and still not have a valid license or valid insurance. It costs about $45 to go down and get a license. And then if what is suspending your license is you're not paying child support or you fail to come to court, those are fixable things. Those are things that you can control. You got a computer in your pocket, a phone. If you got a court date and you got a ticket, calendar it in your phone. You're not going to miss your court date. Most suspensions are based on a failure to appear. But if the other one is they suspending your license because you failing to pay child support, man up, sir. If you got children that you brought into this world, pay for them. These are my two rules. So you don't have to explain it to me. I'm just telling you, you got to keep a license. This is not like New York City where you can hop on a train or a bus.
Okay.
I mean, a driver's license is essential in the state of Georgia, and you can't just keep going around with no license, just gonna drive anyway. We don't do drive anyway.
Yeah.
How old are you, sir?
28.
28? You good and grown.
Well,
I need you to get your life.
my life good, man. That still happens.
I'm sorry, your life is good, but you in a jumpsuit in front of me,
I know.
and you in shackles.
I know.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to get your life, sir.
Mhm.
Because your idea good and my idea good is two different things. Don't get another one of these suspended licenses. The fourth one is a felony.
Yes, man.
All right. Going back with the sheriff's office.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. All right, so are we ready on Amaya? Let's go ahead and knock this one out.